Hey there, night dwellers. Join the Phantom Troupe for a serene escape into dreamland with enchanting sleep stories. Let the calming tales transport you to a world of peaceful slumber and restful nights.
Once upon a time, there was a father who had two sons. The elder son was smart and capable, able to handle any situation with ease. However, the younger son was dull, understanding nothing and having learned nothing. Whenever people saw him, they would say, "How much his father has to worry about him." Whenever there was something to be done, the elder son would step forward to do it. However, if it was late or in the middle of the night and their father needed something fetched, and the path passed through a cemetery or other scary places, the younger son would refuse, saying, "No, father, I won't go. I'm afraid." And indeed, he was truly afraid. In the evenings, the family would gather around the stove and tell stories. When the tales turned scary, the younger son would sit alone, listening to the others, but never quite understanding their fear. He would often comment loudly, "They all say they're afraid, but I'm never afraid. Perhaps it's a skill I don't understand at all." One day, the father said to him, "You should sit here and listen. You're a grown young man now, and it's time for you to learn how to fend for yourself. Look at how diligent and studious your brother is. If you look at yourself, all my good words fall on deaf ears." The younger son replied, "Father, you're right. I would like to learn something too. If I could, I'd like to learn to be afraid. I'm not afraid at all." Hearing this, the elder brother burst out laughing, thinking, "My brother is such a fool. He has no hope in life. Too young to understand at 3, too old to grasp it at 7. The father sighed deeply and told his younger son, "I promise you'll learn to be afraid sooner or later, but you won't be able to support yourself just by being afraid." Not long after, a deacon from the church visited their home as a guest. Upon hearing the father's concerns about his youngest son's lack of understanding and learning, the deacon offered to take the young man under his wing, saying, "If he's so fixated on learning to be afraid, he'll soon learn it. Let him come with me, and I'll take care of him for you." Agreeing wholeheartedly, the father thought, perhaps this will help him grow up a bit. So the deacon took the younger son home with him and assigned him the task of ringing the church bell. A few days later, late at night, the deacon woke the younger son and instructed him to go to the bell tower and ring the bell. "This time I'll teach you what fear is," thought the deacon as he quietly ascended the tower. The younger son approached the bell tower, and as he reached for the rope, he noticed a white figure standing on the stairs facing the window. "Who's there?" he called out, but the figure remained motionless, offering no reply. "Answer me," the young man shouted again, "or leave this place. What are you doing here at this hour of the night?" Still receiving no response, the young man yelled a third time. When that failed, he rushed forward and pushed the figure down the stairs. The deacon tumbled down the steps, groaning and sighing as one of his legs broke upon impact. The next day, the deacon's wife, concerned about her missing husband, asked the younger man if he knew his whereabouts. Upon hearing the young man's account, she rushed to the bell tower and found her injured husband. Enraged, she blamed the young man for the incident and demanded he leave their house immediately. In his father's house, the young man defended himself, saying, "I did what I had to do. He was standing there in the middle of the night, as if up to no good. How was I to know who he was?" Angered by his son's actions, the father disowned him, giving him 50 silver coins and telling him to leave and never return. The young man set off, muttering to himself, "If only I could be afraid." As he journeyed, a coachman approached and overheard his muttering. Curious, the coachman struck up a conversation, and upon learning of the young man's desire to learn fear, directed him to a haunted palace where the king promised the hand of his daughter to anyone who could spend 3 nights there. Undeterred, the young man accepted the challenge and made his way to the palace. Over the course of 3 nights, he encountered various frightening experiences, but remained unfazed, even rescuing a group of robbers from a gallows and facing off against demonic creatures. In the end, the king, impressed by the young man's bravery, offered him his daughter's hand in marriage. However, the young man declined, realizing that he had indeed learned what fear was, but it was not enough to sway his heart. He departed the palace, content in his newfound understanding, and continued his journey with a sense of purpose and determination. Thus concludes the tale of the young man who set out to learn fear but found courage instead.